So we got a couple quick projects coming up that we got to get done for a ride on Saturday. All right, so Greg and I have had a big adventure day today. We were on the road for what, 4.5 hours?
Yep.
Greg found, well, let's tell you why we did this. Up at Tamarack, they have poor snow conditions, but the trails are open. And don't say, hey, you're wrecking everything. The club says the trails are open. You're gonna see us riding on some poor snow conditions next weekend at the Tamarack ride. And we wanted fan-cooled sleds for this, and Greg didn't have one.
Other than my single.
Other than the single, and that's not ready. And so Greg bought this one today out in Cokato, an hour and a half west of here, quite a ways out of town. And then we ran back all the way to the east side. We were all the way in Maplewood down in St. Paul to get this on the way home. So that's a pretty big circle. This is an original amber or bronze colored windshield that's going to go on my 83 Indy 600. So that's just part of today's adventure. Anyways, back to this sled. It ran. We started it at the guy's place. The guy said he'd had the track out and he'd looked at the chain case and all the drive shaft bearings, chain case bearings, and all that. So we're just going to make sure there's lube in that for this week. I don't think we need to tear it down.
No.
Other things we know, we discovered it's got carbides. We tried to drive it in with ice outside and cement inside. They just grabbed. So I don't know. So what we have to fix, number one, we think it needs needles and seats based on what the seller told us. He says when he shuts it off, it floods. Okay, we're going to throw needles and seats in it. Obviously, we're going to clean the carbs when we do that. We got to do new fuel lines. There's no shutoff valve.
Nope, we'll put a shutoff valve in it.
This thing's got Mikuni round slides. You need a shutoff valve. What else? Oh, the lights don't work. So we got to figure that out and fix that. By the way, Skidoo guys, there's now 2 Skidoos in my shop at once. It's gonna be an easy project, Greg. Let's give them a look. So this thing apparently has been indoors most of its life, and we'll show you up close. The belly pan's not bad, and
no holes.
Yeah, we got a little bit
here, but
rust, a little bit of a dent. But if you know anything about these Leaf Spring Blizzard 5500s,
or
you know,
9500s or 7500.
Yeah, the belly pans, they rot.
Yep.
So this is a really good example, actually. We have the suspicion that this might have something to do with the fact that the lights don't work, and you can see a broken off stub there from the old wire. So we know where that goes.
And then we got just a...
Oh, we got a little bit of a mess. We got
That's a voltage regulator, and it's not hooked up.
This is probably a voltage regulator here too, I imagine. So we'll sort that out. We'll put on a new fuel filter. We'll put on new fuel lines. Boy, those are...
That's weird line.
That's not the right size line. It'll get 1/4-inch line and new clamps. We got to check the chain case. The exhaust sounds fine. It looks fine. Greg wants to dig in and make sure the fan belt's good. I guess that's good preventative maintenance.
Yeah, I think all we have to do is pull this cover off. We should be able
to get a good look. Yep, and the airbox looks like it comes off real nice on these. Are we going to do anything with the clutches?
Not for this weekend.
Not for this weekend. All right, there you go, folks. You know, judging by the way that we drove it 15 feet,
yeah,
we think the clutches are probably going to be okay for this weekend. So, I don't know. We're going to get after it. I guess first thing, let's get the airbox off and let's get those carbs apart and in the ultrasonic. All right, we're moving right along. When it was down on the floor, we pulled the carbs off, and then Greg just pulled the drain plug, and I'll have to digitally zoom in on that.
Yeah, it looks like chocolate milk.
Yeah, it does.
Not good.
Looks like gorilla snot, chocolate milk. I don't know what it is, but we'll be taking the chain case cover off so that we can clean it out, spray it out with some brake clean. But the brakes look good. Plenty of pad material. Hey, we got that going for us, Greg. Brakes.
That's good.
All right, so rip it into these carbs, and you can see This is why we clean the carbs, folks. Right there. Is that in focus? Look at all the crap in the main jet there. Look it down in the bottom there. So we'll get all that cleaned up. I'm sure the pilots are disgusting too. So it was running, but this would be bad news on a cold trail ride. So in general, it was kind of crappy inside the carbs, and I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if I can zoom in enough. Here, Greg, you want to hold the camera? So there is a, let me get the little tiny screwdriver. There is a wear line right where the corner of the screwdriver is touching on there. There's a wear line on that, and that would be why it was leaking past. And the other one, I think, accidentally went into the ultrasonic with the rest of the carbs, but I'm sure it's no better. But it doesn't matter. Greg's getting more Polaris parts on his sleds. That's yeah, genuine Mikuni. So if you want genuine Mikuni, you pretty much got to order it from Polaris, from Arctic Cat, from Wall Brothers, or from Sudco. That's about it. People ask that. I don't know. That's where you get it. Otherwise, take your chances. So that's not a catheter. That's the hose from inside Greg's fuel tank. And it's soft, and it's pliable, and it's good. This is the first time for me. I think we're going to put this back in. What do you think? I would if it was my sled.
Absolutely.
This might be one of those ester hoses, which is different than the what are the usual ones? Polyurethane.
Yeah.
I guess they last better, and the gas smells like fresh. It smells real good. So we're on a roll here on the fuel system, except for how cruddy the carbs were. Greg mentioned one of his carb boots looks a little sketchy. Let me show you. Yeah, that's electrical tape wrapped around it.
Yes.
That's sketchy. We'll give that an probably. Oh yeah, she's falling apart. That's a 10 out of 10 for sketchy.
Yep.
So we'll have to round up some boots quick. I won't have those, but I don't know. Maybe Dennis Kirk or some other mail order place will have them. So Greg's working away on fuel lines, and I just wanted to show you how clean the carb body's got in the bowls. I mean, not bad. That's just a half an hour in the ultrasonic with the, it's Master Stages 2020. And the link to it is in the description. That's the stuff I use in my ultrasonic anyways. Use whatever you want. I don't care. Just notice this on Greg's carbs. There's something you watch out for at a swap meet, a broken tower. But we managed to get the pin out, redo everything, and honestly, I didn't even notice till we were putting it back together.
Yeah. They did
So
good job.
yeah, they did a good job. That'll be just fine. So we got those freshly cleaned carbs installed. We got new fuel line, we got new primer line. We know that line in the tank was good. The only line we reused was these fuel vent overflow lines, and who really cares about them? Hopefully nothing ever comes out of there, but maybe a little bit of vapor or something. So Greg wants to fire it up and see how it runs now. Pretty good. So that's the great thing about these Skidoos with the primers. If you know what you're doing, they're fantastic and they're first pull start every time. Of course, the downside, as we once learned from one of Greg's friends, is if you come out of wherever you had lunch and the sled's still hot and you give it 5 pumps on the primer, that was a rough day. We all took turns pulling to get that thing cleaned out. But you just saw what happens there. First pull with the primer. Really nice. I think you just watched a video of Greg going across the lake painfully slowly. It was running good. It's good at slow speeds. It breaks up at high speeds. 30 miles an hour is all he could get out of it. We checked. He's got spark. He's got fuel. We think the carb's working fine. I think it's either the coil or the condenser. And the coils are external. They're easy to change. Greg's out pulling them off the sled right now, and we're going to go ohm out his coils and find out if they're good or bad. But he brought these other two coils with, and let's ohm these out. So try not to get in the way of the camera too much. Maybe I'll put this on this side so I'm not blocking it. So these are Bosch coils. So the primary side here, you want to see a fairly low resistance. And this meter is a little slow, but let's hold this on there and see what we get. All right, that's a really low resistance. That's 1.7 ohms. And then from the secondary side, you want to see a higher resistance, like 10K ohms, 15, something like that. 7.5. And then we'll check to the other terminal. We're checking resistance, so it doesn't matter what lead goes where. We're just set to ohms. 7.4K ohms. And then the other thing is you want to make sure that you don't have any connection to this metal frame here. We got nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. So that's a good coil. At least it seems like it. So let's check coil number 2 here. And these are the new coils Greg brought over, new used. So 1.9 ohms. Pretty good. Well, in the range. 7.8, and we'll check again. 7.8. So that's all looking good on these Bosch coils. No connection, no connection, no connection. So I'm pronouncing these two coils to be good. It's only going to take us a couple minutes to pop those onto Greg's sled, and then we'll try to give it a rip around the yard and see if it's better or not. All right, we got the new coil in it. We're gonna see how it works. Literally, if Greg can make a pass around the yard and it's full throttle. Greg says it's still doing the same thing. So, not the coil. We'll have to figure it out. Lonnie's here, by the way. All right, Indy pit car style. We changed out the other coil. Haven't even measured it. That's bizarre.
No, it isn't.
Oh, my bad. I changed the coil. I didn't plug it in. Well, that is 100% fixed, folks. But we got to get Greg on the drag strip here. There we go. Another success, another speed shot. put the airbox back on, and now it's got the problem. He can't even make it move. Let's take the airbox off again. Do you think the problem's just the airbox is plugged?
Gotta be.
You suppose the little bastards got in there? So we thought there'd be no mice because of this nice metal screen right here, but maybe. What? Clean. Lonnie says clean the carbs. You know we've already cleaned the carbs on this one, but you feel free to clean the carbs at home.
Unreal.
Let's just drive it right now and find out, Greg.
Yep.
And then we maybe have a little bit of airbox dissection to do, or just run it without.
Pair of K&Ns maybe?
Yeah. Confirmed. The airbox is the problem. Fixed?
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Yep. All right, so we're in here dissecting the airbox, and we got all the screws out, and let's peel it open. Nothing's... Oh. Well, that might do it.
Look down that tube.
How does the air get from here?
Well, it comes out here, but it's so restrictive because it's going down.
Okay. Yeah, so those are like butted up to the bottom, basically. That's probably where the restriction is.
They put this in.
Well, I think they're just
Yeah,
they're
could be.
butted up right here, and that's where the restriction is.
Is it supposed to go in?
I don't know.
Probably,
Somebody's been
comes out
into it.
too. This probably goes.
No, it won't fit that way.
Well, with this comes out right here.
Oh, so somebody's butchered this airbox, folks. You can see all the glue on it and everything. And they glued this thing in, and that's nothing short of a disaster. Greg, are you going to run an airbox?
No, unis or K&Ns.
Yeah. I mean, we found it. We found the smoking gun. You can't get the air through this tube and up through these fast enough because it's kind of choked off in there. I mean, what else could it be?
Obviously, that's the problem.
All right, let's close out the video. All right, so we dissected that airbox, and it's a little bit of a mystery. It seems like it should work, but it's obviously been butchered by a previous owner. The hot glue gun, things have been cut, spliced, silicone. So Greg's verdict is to junk the airbox. I concur. K&N filters have practically no restriction. It should be just like running without an airbox.
Yep.
And that's obviously
Rejet
what it needs. Yeah, we'll check the jetting. Usually it's not horrible. Usually they're jetted pretty conservative from the factory.
From the factory there. Yeah.
So we'll just double check. So with that said, hit subscribe. We hope you enjoyed this. I'm really sorry that we didn't throw your airbox in the garbage yesterday, Greg.
Or Thursday when we were loading up.
We had no idea. And so, you know, as you'll see in the other video from yesterday, Greg got trailered home. And that's life. Maybe you won't see it in the video, but he got trailered home yesterday.
I made it to the bar.
He made it
That's
there.
all that matters.
Slowly. Very slowly.
About 30 miles per hour.
Which you will see in this video, or you have seen it already. I haven't edited it yet. You have seen it. So anyways, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. Huge thanks to everybody that gave us a super thanks. Giant thanks to everybody that came up and talked to me and Greg and Tommy at ERX, and me and Greg again at the Horseshoe Lake show yesterday. Really appreciate all you guys. Once again, can't say thanks again enough to the super thanks people, and of course, the patrons. Patrons, we salute you.
Can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
So for those that don't know, the patrons sign up to support the channel for a little bit of money, $5 or $10 a month over on Patreon. And in return, they're helping their favorite YouTube channel. And they get their name up on the screen, as you can see. And there is 2 screens worth. And They get to watch all the videos early. They get to watch them ad-free on Patreon. And what else? They get some patron-only videos and some patron-only text posts from time to time. So patrons, we really appreciate your support. And everybody else, hit subscribe and pray for snow.
See you on the trail.
Oh my goodness, what is it? What is that?
We never do opening the mail on camera.
What's that? What's
Patron Ken Singraver sent us this box addressed to Farley and Daisy. Well, we wanted to wait till all the friends were here.
Goodness.
So Hope and Camila are here as well. And we're going to help Farley and Daisy open the box. They're not much on shredding cardboard.
Well, depends.
Well, they can be somewhat respectful. So.
Yeah. They have a harder time opening it than we would.
Yeah, it'll take them a little longer.
It'll take them a little while. They could smell it though. They could tell it was something good in there.
Oh, Ken used
my
some
goodness.
great tape. Oh boy.
Ken, thank you so much,
Thanks,
man.
Ken.
That is awesome.
And this isn't just one bag. This is several bags.
Oh
boy.
Yes.
4 bags.
What is that?
And Ken, your timing couldn't be better because
We were out.
time to fill up. So thanks, Ken.
Thank you so much, Ken. That's awesome.
Pretty nice with that paper.
Hey, Kyle, we missed something.
Oh,
Ken might have sent something for me
What? Uh-oh.
in a little note. Scarrool hat and a Scarrool koozie. Very thoughtful.
on,
Thanks,
nice.
Ken. Let's see what the note says. Let's see. Mr. John Nutter, thanks for motivating and inspiring me to finish my Indy 650. Here is a little token of appreciation. The hat and koozie are for you, and the treats are for the puppies. Oh, good. I'm glad we got that right.
At least we got that right. Yeah.
Again,
Here,
thanks
you
for
want
all
that?
your videos and motivation. Sincerely, patron Ken Singraver. P.S. Hope to see you and the other Nutter Speed Shop crew on the trail sometime. Well, we'll try to.
Awesome.
We're going to try to do something like that for the patrons. We're thinking on it. We're not sure what it'll be.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.